We gotta talk about John Wall today because a couple of days ago, Stephen A. Smith went in on John Wall and the Washington Wizards, and more specifically, he went in on John Wall.
I like John Wall. John Wall is an all-star. John Wall could play. Then this year arrived. For some reason, a man that struggled with his perimeter shooting comes back and the shooting worse. I don't give a damn about the 46%. He can't get to the hole with the ease that he used to. He's actually bigger. He looks out of shape. It's a problem. So now you got that as a problem. Then you got him and Beal and not meshing as a problem. It's contaminated Markieff Morris, who can play. John Wall, he can ball, Molly.
Yep,
he clean.
I'm listening. I'm
ball.
all ears right now.
I'm not questioning John Wall's abilities. I'm questioning his level of production. It ain't just your job to score. It's your job to lead. They have no leadership. They have no chemistry. They don't even look like they want to play together. Don't get me started with hanging out together, because damn sure if I've seen it, okay? And I'm in the nation's capital enough. Trust me. If they were doing it, I'd know.
Also later saying that the situation with John Wall is so bad that he's getting pictures of John Wall off the court where people are seeing him and they're bringing up Rose Bar, which is one of the most popular nightclubs, if not the most popular nightclub in Washington, D.C. So essentially, Stephen A. Smith is questioning the leadership of John Wall and the fact that he's going out to these clubs, partying and wasting time, while in the meantime, the Wizards are sitting at the very bottom or towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference with a 2-8 record. And if that doesn't make John Wall look bad enough, then he made himself look even worse after this. As yesterday, John Wall took to IG Live to sort of address the public, kinda, I guess you could call it that, where he gave his take on the whole Rose Bar nightclub situation while also talking about the Wizards' rocky start in general a little bit.
I ain't in the gym, slutty, cause I just left practice about an hour or two ago, so now I'm relaxing with my feet up. But don't tell the fans I said that. They think I'm supposed to stay in the gym all day. I do. Go to Rose Bar on Saturdays. What? Not supposed to party once in the blue while? The fuck? Where you be at? Opera? Living room? That Jersey shit funny though. When they put Rose Bar on the jersey, I was dying. Like, that shit is classic.
After hearing and seeing this, I can 100% say without doubt in my mind that John Wall has given up. Man doesn't care anymore. I mean, to hear him talking about Wizards fans and how they expect him to be in the gym 24/7, and then hearing him talk about how he does hit the club on the weekends. Keep in mind, while his team currently has a 2-8 record on the year, and there's all this finger pointing and scrutiny going on, and I don't just mean outside of the organization, from the outside sources like Stephen A. Smith or fans on Twitter, the internet, social media, anything like that. No, there's finger pointing going on within the Wizards organization. They're disgruntled players in the Wizards organization. They do not play together on the court like they are an actual team. They don't look like they even like each other out there. And with all of this going on, you can still find John Wall in the nightclub every Saturday night, unless the Wizards have a game, in which he might go after the game. Like I said, the man has given up. He doesn't care. And that's sad. I feel bad for Wizards fan because of this, because I know as a Pistons fan, if my team was going through something like the Washington Wizards are right now, and they were sitting at the very bottom of the Eastern Conference, and I saw Blake Griffin go on Instagram Live talking about, guess what? I ain't in the gym 24/7. And also, guess what? Yes, I do hit up nightclubs every weekend. I'd be heated. I'd be beyond heated. That will be the point where I came to acknowledge the fact that anyone that has anything to do with this organization has got to go. We are doomed. I mean, that's how I feel. Luckily for me, though, that's not quite happening with my Pistons just yet. And I'm just using Blake Griffin as an example here, because the bottom line is that's what you're supposed to do when you're the leader of the team. You don't hear about Stephen Curry hitting up nightclubs on the weekends, or Giannis Antetokounmpo, or Kawhi Leonard, Victor Oladipo, Kyrie, DeRozan, Lowry, LeBron. You don't hear about any of the other elite level players who are supposed to be carrying a team talking about how they go to a club every weekend. And once again, it's sad because it seems like John Wall just stopped caring as soon as he received that max contract extension. He did what he had to do in order to get that money, but now that he got that money, he no longer wants to do what he was doing when he earned that money. And I'm not even gonna say that this is all John Wall's fault. See, the Washington Wizards as an organization have a lot of blame in this too, because John Wall wasn't always like this. We know that a couple of years ago, Washington Wizards were one game away from making the Eastern Conference Finals. We all thought they were a team on the rise. John Wall was considered the best point guard in the Eastern Conference, and depending on who you ask, some people might even say that John Wall was the second best player in the Eastern Conference a couple of years ago, right behind LeBron James. But ever since then, the league has been evolving to the point where John Wall and Bradley Beal simply can't get it done on their own anymore. And if the Wizards were ever going to compete again, they would at least need to add a third star. But what does Washington go out there and do? They go out and give the rest of their money to Otto Porter Jr. That's it. That was the move that they made. Now, John Wall and Bradley Beal have been begging the Wizards to land another star player for years. But the Wizards go and give the last of their money to Otto Porter Jr., essentially dooming the Wizards and preventing them from getting any other star players without having to, guess what, move the contract of Otto Porter Jr. And I'm not knocking Otto Porter Jr. I think he's a really nice player. Is he worth what he's getting paid? Heck no, but he's a good player. So now you're John Wall and you're looking at your situation and you're like, well, dang, I guess there's nothing I can do here. I mean, we can still go out there and try. We can still go out there and make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. That's about it. That's about as good as it's going to get for this team. Why? Because the team has failed me. They failed to put the pieces around me necessary for us to go out there and actually compete for a championship. If that's the case, if we can't actually win a championship, then why bother putting in the extra work? So at this point, the Wizards really only have like two options that can maybe get John Wall back on track, and that's either to find some sort of deal where they can move the contract of Otto Porter Jr. and bring in that third star to get John Wall excited about maybe having the possibility of making it out of the Eastern Conference again, or they could try and trade John Wall. And if he gets traded to a destination, a team where he feels like he can make a difference and get that team over the hump, no matter if it's in the East or the West, then you'll start to see John Wall again, because we all know that guy can still hoop. He's just not playing with passion right now. Side note real quick, none of this is an excuse for John Wall to be behaving the way that he's behaving for the Washington Wizards. They're paying him top dollar to lead the team. He should go out there and lead the team regardless of whether or not he thinks they can win a championship or if he thinks the team has failed him. But I also want to point out that this is on us for not seeing this coming, because if a guy shows up to the Team USA minicamp looking like this, we should know that man has given up. Back to the video. Moving on though, it is time to be concerned about the Houston Rockets, because when you're getting blown out by the Russell Westbrookless OKC Thunder, you know it's time to be concerned. When you have three of the greatest offensive minds in the NBA currently, in James Harden, Chris Paul, and Mike D'Antoni, you only score 80 points. You should be concerned. When for the last 3 games in a row, you still had all those players available to you, and yet you still haven't scored over 100 points, you should be concerned. When the majority of your losses this season come in the form of a blowout, you had better be concerned. Oh yes, I am concerned about the Houston Rockets. However, despite how concerned I might be, I still have faith in the Houston Rockets. Just because I know that there is no way they can continue to play as poorly as they have been playing for the first 10 games of the season. Because believe it or not, there's a silver lining to this horrific start for the Houston Rockets. And that lining is, to start the year, they were losing games not necessarily because of their offense. Granted, their offense still wasn't great, but it's not as bad as it is now. They were losing games because of their defense. They were getting ran out of the gym. You remember that first game they had against the New Orleans Pelicans? That was a horrific game for the Houston Rockets. Their defense was atrocious. But as of late, defensively, they've been doing a much better job, because I talked about the Houston Rockets not being able to score 100 points in their last 3 games, but guess what? They've held opposing teams to under 100 points for the last 3 games as well. So defensively, they're there. It's just their offense. The fact that they're supposed to be one of the best offensive teams in the NBA, yet 10 games into the season, there's been no sign of them being one of the best offensive teams in the NBA. That has me very concerned. Like I said though, the Rockets lost this game to the Thunder, of course, 98-90. Carmelo Anthony, in his first game against his former team, only scored 2 points on 1 of 11 shooting from the field. Meanwhile, Paul George was by far the best player on the court with 20 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 steals. Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics rallied from 22 down to beat the Suns in overtime yesterday. Kyrie Irving really sparked the Celtics comeback, and as he was just carving up the Suns defense in the fourth quarter and overtime. He finished the game with 39 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. 116-109 is the final score. The Bucks always seem to give the Warriors problems whenever they play each other, and last night that was no exception. And this time, Milwaukee gave Golden State maybe more problems than they could handle, as the Bucks get the 134-111 win. Eric Bledsoe actually played amazingly for the Bucks yesterday, scoring 26 points on 10 of 12 shooting to go along with 6 assists. Meanwhile, for the Warriors, Stephen Curry did suffer some sort of groin injury during this game. It's nothing serious, but the team is still unsure of how much time he may miss at this point. And lastly, the Portland Trail Blazers win again, this time defeating the Los Angeles Clippers 116-105. Damian Lillard with 25 of the night. And that is going to bring us to today's player of the day, where you guys can vote for who you think was the best player in the NBA yesterday by clicking the little eye icon at the top right hand corner of the video. Just remember though, the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day, and yesterday that player was Hassan Whiteside with his 29 points, 20 rebounds, and 9 blocks. That is going to do it for today's video though, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and subscribe to the channel with post notifications turned on so you can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. Thank you once again for watching though. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs, but until tomorrow, I'm out of here. Peace.